Alright, so team battle. Asaka going up against Mikado. Neo Genesis taking on DS. Battle like this hasn't happened in some time. Already a bit of confusion as to a lot of things. But we're gonna try to make this work. So first ride, Asuka puts out Steam Breath Dragon. Asuka is using Gear Chronicle for some reason. And Mikado is using Gold Paladins. Mikado attacks with a Yosef boosted. No guard, breathe a ballin'. Not sure why that's there. If he's using it for the unflip engine, that means he has to put Blaster Blade in, which, to be perfectly honest, there's not a lot of room for it in this deck. Mikado no guards and a heal trigger appears. Asuka gets to heal her 1 damage. And she finally did. Mikado rides Blaster Blade, brings out Ballin and Aglavale. So if Blaster Blade is one of the top 3 checks, and it's not, it's Ballin. He would have been able to unflip that damage and get the superior call for free. Would have been good if it happened, but it didn't. No guards of Vanguard and a Destiny Aglavale appears. The rear guard is guarded. Chrono Jet ridden. And with an attack, Mikado is figuring out whether or not he should guard and decides not to. Gets critical for it. And a draw trigger. Critical leaves Mikado's deck. Mikado rides Percival. Doesn't have the ability to Legion. Opted out of Stride, so that's not happening either. 18 at the Vanguard isn't guarded. And the Twin Drive is 2 grade 3s. One of which is Glare, so he could ride Glare and just use it next turn. If he chooses to do that. 18k to the Vanguard is blocked, and then 16 to the Vanguard. Blocked again. Asuka now has full access to Stride. And she's using it. Ruin Disposal Dragon uses the Catalyst. Interdimensional Gateway is opened, and Chronos Command Dragon appears. So with the Counterblast 1 and putting Timepiece Draco Kid into the Soul, she checks her top 5 for a grade 3. Nothing appears. Oh no, wait, something did appear. Chronos Command Dragon can't get its ability no matter what happens now because it's a Counterblast 2 and a Soul Blast 1. And Mikado is guarding as if that's not the case. Second check is a critical trigger. First check was a grade 2 Silent Tom copy. And if the third check was a critical, this could have potentially ended right there, but that's not the case. This is too critical. And Mikado heals at the last damage. So what I suspect we'll see from here is he's going to ride Glare like he did. He's going to Legion. Returning Critical Trigger, Destiny Aglavale, Oath Aglavale, and probably Yosef. Like I said, Legion. Then he's going to use Guido. In his situation, the best thing he can do is use Guido. And there it is. Guido checks the top 3. Superior calls 1, and then Glare skill activates. Of course, Asaka has more than enough grade 0s in hand to deal with it. Or at least she should. Retires Chrono Jet Dragon because with 2 Ballons on the field, it's a free retire. And Prominence Glare skill happened. But without a booster behind Prominence Glare, it's only going to be 20,000. Superior calls Blaster Blade so he can get 2 more unflips. Can't counterblast 2 in order to retire. But he is going to counterblast and discard. But again, that's only 20,000. Even if it's for 3 criticals, Asaka should have the guard. Now activating Glare skill, retiring Blaster Blade to try to get a booster. And gets a Yosef for it. And Yosef gives him a Soul Blast and a draw. And it looks like he top deck another Prominence Glare. So that ability happens one more time. So that Prominence Glare now has 4 critical. And Asaka can only guard from hand with grade 0. 21, 26, 31, 36. 2 to pass. And it's not happening. But a heal trigger appears. Asaka can literally take both of these other attacks and it won't mean anything. Not to mention he used up a ton of resources doing Prominence Glare so many times. Keep in mind he rode over a grade 3, so that's 1 grade 3 gone, 2 for what's in his Vanguard circle, 3, 4, 5. He can only have a max of 3 left in the entire deck. The entire 27 card deck. Asaka using Stride. That was not enough. That was 2 grade 1s. Asaka, I think, has to make an adjustment. Okay, so she never intended to discard the perfect guard. Which makes much more sense, actually. Soul Blast 2 to draw 1, that's a little unfortunate, but the Vanguard isn't hitting anyway. 31,000 to the Vanguard and triple check. None hit, but gets to attack the rear guard, which is more the point. Prominence Glare's ability can't happen no matter what. So instead, he's just going to use a superior call in order to make his top deck into a better unit. Now he can Soul Blast 1 and check his top 5 for grade 3, but he won't be able to Counter Blast and discard it because he's out of Counter Blast. And I wonder if Asuka's noticed his trigger lineup yet. She perfect guards. We knew she had one. So first check. And second is a perfect guard, so once again the Vanguard more than likely isn't going to hit. She takes one of the attacks and has to guard this one. And has a 10k shield for it. Discards Ruin Disposal Dragon for another stride. Brings out Lost Age Dragon. And Liberator of Destiny goes into the bottom. Now keep in mind, Mikado can only perfect guard the Vanguard if he chooses to do that. So if Asuka criticals, she could win. Attacking with the rear guard first, that's actually kind of a bad decision because he can intercept that. Which he does. Now she needs 2 criticals to end it. There's 1. There's 2. She got it. Mikado has to heal in order for this to work. And he doesn't. Game is over. Asuka wins game 1. Good match. Moving on to the next game.